In this video, we're going to cover the mechanics of drawing a roadmap chart. And the first thing you want to do is go down to the track bar and get to a significant pivot point. In this case, it's the pivot from November 2012. I'll just get that out of the way. And you go to the GAN, roadmap from high-lows, and there's nothing intuitive about this. You have to experiment and choose a factor, apply the factor, and you left click if you click on a high and you right click if you click on a low, so the software knows what direction to plot the roadmap in, and you can then exit out of the way. And if you do gain experience with the tickers, you can choose a factor, plant it at the suspected pivot turn, and prices can stay within the channels or the roadmap channels for months at a time. In this case, it's for almost a year. And the roadmap channels remain effective. In this case, it's a bullish channel until prices clear the lower channel, and that would mean in the case of clearing a bullish channel, you get a high for at least 3 bars clear of the channel. At that point, you can begin suspecting that perhaps the trend has broken, and maybe start experimenting or drawing bearish roadmap channels at that point. But the way roadmaps are drawn, it takes the square root of the low to determine the plots along the x-axis or the horizontal axis, and then it uses a GAN type calculation to determine the rise in the channel. But that's the essentials of the roadmap. I won't go into detail about how to use the roadmap. Right now we're just looking at how to draw it. On this chart, the S&P is in the low to medium 4 digits, and it's real easy to draw roadmaps in that price range. But what happens when prices are not in the low to medium 4 digits? And we're going to use the SPY chart for an example. This is about the same time period as the S&P 500 for the SPY, but we can see that prices are in the low to medium 100s, and that makes it difficult to draw a roadmap channel. So what we can do is go to GAN, and you can do a price multiplier. In this case, we're going to multiply by 10, and we've changed the SPY prices for the purposes of drawing a roadmap channel to the low to medium 4 figures. And this will work out about the same as we saw with the S&P 500. And we get the same type of channel. Now, the multiplication of the underlying data is only effective for this screen, for the roadmap channels. If you tried to do an indicator now, it would be using the original data, not say 1417, but 141.75, and none of your indicators would work. You, of course, can always go back to GAN, price multiplier, and then multiply by 0.1 to restore the prices back to the original. And in this case, the channel disappears. You can also use the roadmap channels with intraday data. And we'll swap over to an Apple 65-minute chart. The mechanics are exactly the same. Roadmap from high-low, choose a factor, apply, click on the pivot, and we can see that we did get a useful roadmap, but not a very good one. So let's clean this up. We'll clear the roadmap. Let's use the price multiplier and multiply Apple prices by 10. And we can see over on the right hand side of the chart that prices are now multiplied by 10, we'll go back to the roadmap from high-low. We're going to have to use a different factor because the prices are significantly different. We'll choose 2, apply, click on the same pivot point, and we get what I think is a fairly useful roadmap channel for the Apple 65-minute data. And we can see that the channel is clearly broken when price clears the lower bounds of the channel, the lower bounds of the uptrend channel. And you can, of course, go back and reset Apple to the original price if you so choose. There's one more thing I want to show you, and that is the ghost line. You choose roadmap from high-low, and instead of grid, we're going to choose ghost. We'll choose the same factor as for the bullish channel. And because we want to mark a potential high pivot, we left click, and we can see that it draws the downtrending ghost line. Now this would be the upper channel line of a bearish channel, and you can use the ghost lines as another trend indicator. If you suspect the downtrend was in effect, you would draw ghost lines, and once they were broken, that would indicate that your suspected trend change had not occurred. Okay, well, those are the mechanics of using the GAN roadmap.